Hello everyone, this is Jeremy again with Coding Contraptions, and haven't been making videos for a while, and I feel like I'm probably going to be covering some old material again. I just really want to go deep with this book, Atomic Habits, for a while, and then I also am going to be talking about the new direction I've been heading. Things have been changing a lot. I did a lot of web development work, and it's very interesting, and I want to go back to that at some point, but right now I just want to work on getting my CompTIA A+ certification, which is a little less interesting, but still valuable. My goal is to get the CompTIA A+ certification and then get the Security Plus certification, get a job in security, and then go back and look at web development. So this is just part of the journey. Sometimes you have to switch gears. Just something I felt like I needed to do, and I'm going to do it. So let's get to it. So today I'm just going to talk about the introduction and going to go through what James Clear is the author's name. It's a great book. I can't recommend it highly enough. I have read a lot of self-help books over the years, and this is the only one I've ever seen that's practical, useful, and actually I think going to get you to your goals. And I do love what he says in the book, that goals are success biased. Almost everyone who talks about goals is going to talk about how great they are because they're the ones that set goals and accomplish them. And those typically are your most successful people, of course, as well. So what I want to talk about today is not necessarily dealing with goals, but I am looking more at activities and processes and things to get me to where I want to be. I have been studying pretty consistently. I've been going through the 10th edition of this book right here. Hopefully I'm holding that well for the camera. And going through the video series on Udemy from the same person. His name is Mike Myers. He has a new version of his videos on Udemy with another person helping him. Anyway, so that's the direction I'm going to go. So all that said, I'm going to go through the introduction. This is part A. There's going to be a part B. It's kind of extensive, but I just think it's important to know where people are coming from when you start to look at their stuff. So anyway, James Clear, it was a sophomore year in high school. He was hit in the face with a baseball. It broke his nose and shattered both of his eye sockets, which is just terrifying to think about. I've had it's called Bell's palsy, and it numbed one side of my face. It looked like I had a stroke, but only from the neck up, and it was scary enough. I can't even imagine actually having broken eye sockets, and I couldn't close my eye. It stayed open on its own. So when I would sleep at night, if I didn't tape it shut or do the things I needed to do to keep it moist, it actually at one point shrunk down almost the size of an olive. I thought I was going to lose my vision. I didn't, so it wound up working out. But anyway, these things can be pretty terrifying. It was for him. This is a life-changing event. This is pretty much, I think, the event that sent him down the path of learning about habits. I think it's a great story about turning adversity into something incredibly positive. So anyway, the head trauma caused temporary memory loss. He thought it was 1998 when it was 2002. So this book was, his story started quite a while ago, and this book is a few years old at least. The head trauma caused the temporary memory loss. He thought it was 1998 when it was 2002. He also thought that the president was Bill Clinton when it was George Bush. Very different presidents with different mindsets for sure. When asked his mother's name, it took him 10 seconds to answer because he just couldn't recall it. It's quite a long time if you think about it. Somebody asks you a question and you time it out 10 seconds, it's going to seem like an eternity. At this point, he passed out, and shortly after arriving at the hospital, his body began shutting down. He had trouble swallowing and breathing. He had seizures. His first seizure started there. He stopped breathing completely at one point, and they put him on oxygen, and he slipped into a coma. So that's a terrifying situation to be in. But the recovery, it actually started with, it's under recovery in the title. It's an interesting place to put this particular event because he tried to blow his nose, and because his eye socket was shattered, that's really the only thing holding your eyeball in place. His eyeball bulged out, and they left it there. He went home with his nose broken, half a dozen facial fractures, and a bulging, I guess actually it was his left eye. I think actually it looks like a left eye because of the reversal of the camera there. The eye did return to its place in the socket over time, so it did actually kind of stop bulging and go back in. But it had double vision because it didn't seat in there properly. So instead of looking, both eyes looking straight ahead, one was looking off to the side. He had to go through physical therapy, learn how to do basic things like even walk. And I don't know if you've ever been around somebody who goes through that. It's very difficult. My mother had botulism, which basically rewired. It shuts down and then rewires your whole nervous system. So she had to learn how to walk, write. Everything was brand new because it just the nerve endings had to reconnect. It was a very tough process for her. She got through it, but it was a lot of difficulty. He went back to play baseball 1 year later. Because he got injured in baseball, but he was the only junior to get cut from the varsity team, and for him that was very difficult because his dad was a professional and played for the Cardinals. He also played since he was 4 years old, so he had a lot of experience in baseball. So this was a difficult thing for him to not be part of that team, knowing that he had spent the time, invested in it, gotten the skill, and then really had it taken away from him because of this injury. Being cut from that team was humiliating because of all the time and effort that he had spent. Right. So after a year of self-doubt, James managed to make the varsity team. So he did make varsity, but a year later than he planned. So kudos to him. He did stick it out. And the turning point came 2 years after his injury when he began college at Denison University. This is where James learned the surprising power of small habits. So this is part A. I'm going to end it there. Again, I'm just going to go through each section of the book little by little. I'm not going to, spend a lot of time talking about much else in these videos about the habits because I really want this to be something that sinks in. And for people that maybe are more patient. I mean, I'm not very patient on the internet either, but I want these videos to be for people who are patient. I trained in martial arts for quite a few years. I'm not going to do any videos on that. It was a very interesting time. I learned a lot. But the one thing I noticed was the people who spent the time and the effort alone always got good. They always got incredible. The people that wanted the quick results typically didn't do as well. So if you're looking for quick results, I would advise you not to, as a rule. There's some exceptions to that rule. So anyway, hopefully this is a good start. I'm kind of getting back into the videos. I don't think this will be one that probably get a lot of views just because of the simplicity of it, and it's not really covering material that I think a lot of people will be interested in. But I want to cover James Clear's story at the beginning. I think it's a good story and one worth, at least for me, talking about. Hopefully other people feel the same way. Again, I don't know how popular it's going to be, but anyway, it's a kind of a long video, and hopefully you made it to the end. Thank you.